Hello everyone, my name is Hectic and welcome back to another GTA video. And today I'm going to do a video I've been wanting to do for a little while. I know I say that with a lot of them, but I have a lot of ideas. Today I'm going to suggest some things to improve every single business in GTA Online. Yes, most businesses are really good, and if they're not touched, I'm okay with that. But some of them just seem like that I've wasted money buying them because I don't use them anymore. So I guess since we're here, we'll start off with the nightclub. Now the nightclub's pretty good, yes, as far as making money. Now I'm not going to go over how to run all of these businesses in this one, so that way I don't make it so long. And this is not really a guide, this is just a suggestion thing. As you can see here, I completed 27 warehouse sales for over 9.6 million, and then from the nightclub safe 21 million for a total of like 31 million dollars. Yes, the only thing I think to really improve the nightclub is, one of the things is, let me infinitely swap out resident DJs without that cutscene like I could do at the arcade's master control terminal. I can just endlessly swap them out. allow us to do that here at the nightclub. Yeah, that there's just no point to doing that. I know you want to see that, like the transition of the DJ swapping out. That's all right. So I mean, that's one little thing. I'm gonna be a little nitpicky with that one. Second is, maybe get rid of these promote club missions, because they really don't do much. In fact, swapping out a DJ or doing one of those like the blue dots or like the VIP ones are much better and much quicker than doing the promote club one. So probably get rid of this altogether. The second thing is, find a way to make all of these nightclub goods, all of this stuff, occur faster. Yes, I do have all the upgrades to it, but it still takes a long time, and I find myself AFKing for a long time trying to get this stuff filled. Yes, so I mean, just by doing that, maybe not really amping up any of the prices within that. I don't really care about that. Some of that are fairly priced within that, but as far as that goes, maybe just secure them a little bit faster, make the nightclub a little bit more useful than it really is. There's been some days where it's like, oh, okay, it really cures kind of fast because I've forgotten about it. But then some days when you pay attention to it, it's like, damn, the nightclub really is slow, and I can get done like 15 Kaios before my nightclub's actually filled to go for like 1 mil. So that's part of the problem. The only other thing that I really can think of to really improve the nightclub is make us not have to buy the nightclub to store the terabyte. Like I know that was a big thing. Like a lot of people want the terabyte to have the Oppressor Mark II, and then you're like, where would you store the terabyte? Just make it a Pegasus vehicle at that point. Like, make there be a fee if you want to call in the terabyte at something, but don't make us have to spend a few $1 million just to get a nightclub that some people are not going to use, just to buy a terabyte and to get an oppressor. Yeah, to upgrade the oppressor. So I mean, I could understand if that's not fixed, but I mean, it kind of is like, what? So that's done with the nightclub. We may or may not go to all of the businesses here. I might explain all of these, but let's go to one of my favorite ones. Let's go to the agency. Yes, let's talk about the agency, and I'll talk a little bit about this as we find a new session here. The agency is really good, and if it's not touched at all, I will understand. Yes, I don't really think that it needs a whole lot to really be improved upon. Yes, but because agency, I love this thing. I love running security contracts, all of this stuff. So the few things that I could think of to really improve the agency is is one, maybe make the security contracts always double money. I mean, I run them whether they're double money or not, but especially this week, I mean, I've been grinding them out, and I've gotten like over 3 plus, maybe even 4 million for just this week alone, grinding security contracts on top of everything else. I don't think I've done more security contracts in my entire like 4 months of playing GTA Online. Within that, you're like 4 months and you're level 136. Holy crap, Hectic. Yeah, besides like work and stuff, I basically don't have a life. That's a joke, but yeah, just make the a little bit double money. I could understand if they're not, but it just makes it feel less of an incentive when they're not, but I usually end up running them anyway because I have fun. Next thing is with the Dr. Dre contract. I mean, I get that it's three acts, which you can see here, but I don't know if I particularly like the waiting in between, because this pays out 1 million after all of this, and you have to wait a little bit in between each one of these, even each of the subsets of all of these. Now I can definitely like start one of these.
The last block we have on this copy is over in Davis, like 5 minutes from where I grew up.
Well, okay. But, I mean, I'm now just starting the third act, and it took me a few days of doing some of these, but, now, most of these can be done solo, although the last one on the second one is difficult doing solo. But I just think that if you take out the wait time, it would be better as a better money-making method. This is actually a lot for a few million, for $1 million, actually. It's almost on the level of waiting like the nightclub, although it's definitely not going to take you long anyway. But just with some of the wait in between some of that, I switch sessions a lot, so sometimes the timers as far as when the next mission is available fluctuate sometimes. But I mean, if you're willing to commit to these, you could probably do all of these in a few hours. No biggie. But still, $1 million for what it is. I love it for the storyline. It's actually fairly good. But just having $1 million within that, even the nightclub does a little bit. It's not on the waiting level as far as the nightclub is, but it's still like, come on. Yeah, I think if I'm going to replay it, I think I'm just playing this once just for the story, not really the payout, because I mean, even though it's $1 million, I still have to wait, and I can do several KO Pericos in between that. But that's another thing. The only other things that I could think of is maybe discount some of these prices on the agency on here. Agencies are about a couple $1 million. I could kind of understand why. But maybe a large price on some of these. Accommodation is one of the cheaper ones on here, but the armory and the vehicle workshop are if not two of the most expensive renovations in the game. I said one of. Yes, it's definitely not the most, but it's one of the more expensive renovations in this game. And for the purpose that they serve, they're pretty good purposes that they serve, but that's still hella expensive for what it is. So there's not really much I can complain, really. I'm mainly nitpicking here with this, but if the agency stays the way that it is, I'm fine with that. Yeah, very good money-making method. Let's get on to the next one. And the next ones I'm going to talk about a little bit more. And it's going to be the auto shop. Yes, a few weeks ago I suggested that you probably should get an auto shop because the auto shop contracts were double money. Yes, and that's going to be the first thing we talk about here with the auto shop contracts. Yes, they're fairly easy. Union Depository can be a little bit... Go away, English, Dave. Can be a little bit tricky. Solo, just I bet the first time I do that, but it's pretty easy. I'll come back to that. Why did I make that statement? Most of these are fairly easy. Some of them can be a little bit difficult, like the ECU contract. I think should be done with at least 2 or more players, although there's some people who are just goated and can do it solo. Good for you. You have more skill than I do. But inside these contracts, they take a little bit. They're not too horrible, but some of them are just a little bit frustrating and some of that stuff. And let's talk about a little bit of the payment. Yes, for doing things solo, some of these can be a bit of a challenge, like the Union Depository, just the finale, just escaping that can be a little bit if you don't know where you're going. But it's worth the payout. That's pretty much one of the only ones that I'm recommending you do for payout itself, because look at these. This is non-double money. It's paying $175,000, so about $170,000 to the max, which the Union Depository is $300,000, and that's one of the reasons why people grind the Union Depository one the most, is because it pays out that the most. These ones for $178,000, I can grind that out faster than I can do the setups and the finale combined. Yes, and I'm not saying it's because it's hard at all. Yes, it's just realistic for me. And especially this double money week, I can get in 2 security contracts ish, and maybe a payphone hit. Well, actually probably not the payphone hit, but a couple of security contracts this week and make more money than doing this. Yeah, within that. And that's just a reality. A lot of money making methods now are just better than these for that, so they're not really worth doing. I mean, the easiest is the bank contract. I like doing that because it's just Fleeca times 6. You're robbing 6 Fleeca banks. It's fun. Like, I have a bit of fun doing these, but I don't do them a lot. I mean, I've done 8 for over $2 million, but I did the majority of them when they're double money, and that's the only time that I recommend that you do these, besides maybe Union Depository, is when they're double money. Yes, they'll pay $300,000, and that's makes it a little bit more competitive. Yes, as far as a money making method goes, because even like something as simple as the bank contract, which I could do both setups in probably under 20 minutes, probably even less than that. That is worth doing for like 300k. When it's like 170-ish, I can probably grind more than that. 300k, and we're having some competition there. So that's why I'm thinking, just improve on that. Just make all of these double money all the time. I can understand why, but I mean, if the Union Depository was always $600,000, yikes though. I can understand why Rockstar wouldn't want that. Because that would just be goated. That's more than like heist level type of stuff. But I still think some of these other ones should be near that level. At least make them pay like maybe $250 or something. Pay a little bit more than this. Yes, so that's one of the reasons why the auto shop I just think should be generally improved. And the next one, unfortunately, a lot of these have to do with, if they're not double money, the money-making methods are kind of trash, actually. And the next, it's just, honestly, it's just the truth that I'm finding out. The next one is these auto shop sale vehicles. When the auto shop was double money, these were also double money when you sold them, and you could sell some of them upwards to about $110,000. Now, I know you get the service fee back, but in net profit, you'll get about $60,000 back for doing these. And that's why I bought the upgrades for doing some of these. And that's if you deliver them yourself. If they're on double money, do not let your staff deliver them. But that's also the reason why I haven't... These two have been sitting here for probably... at least 4 days now. I have not touched a single one of these, and I usually like doing these. These are easy. You fit the car how you want them, and then you deliver it to the customer within that. But now the max that you can probably get is maybe 50,000 within that. When these were double money, you could get up to like 60,000. Yeah, or in total, getting money back is about like $110,000. So that's included service fee. But that definitely stacked up, and this is why when it's not double money, when the auto shop's not double money, it's really not worth doing a lot at all. We're also not going to talk that much about exotic exports. I'm going to talk about exotic exports itself in another video. That's going to be several videos. One's going to be a guide how to do that. Another, and I think I have another video in that. But exotic exports onto that, probably not worth it. I usually just do those if they happen to pop up, or I'm just that bored of GTA that I want to do exotic exports. I think that those should also be buffed a little bit. Really the reason why you're going to get the auto shop is probably this 10-car garage, which I've used. So auto shop, I think, should just permanently be double money. Yes, and Rockstar could determine whether or not they want Union Depository to be double money or not. They could adjust. I think whatever adjustments they make to that one, if they decided to do that, would be, I could understand that. But that's my suggestion. I don't think I have that much say in what Rockstar does. But I mean, if as a community, if you all agree with me, maybe Rockstar will hear that and do that. But now when it's double money, it's like everybody's like, get the auto shop. But when it's not, it's just like, don't get the auto shop. So, but I mean, if you have fun doing those contracts, no matter what, I mean, get the auto shop if you want. But I'm not gonna recommend them over anything else. So agency, we did that. Next one is going to be the arcade. This one I'm going to talk a lot about because I've had my opinion has changed on the arcade. I used to think, and the arcade was actually pretty good to own. And right now I think it's only good to own because of one thing, and I'll get to that. But I think that thinking on it some more and just how I've been getting money and stuff in this game, it's kind of overrated, actually. It's not one of the more important. The best thing that you can own is the Master Control Terminal. That's probably why the arcade's going to be the most important, I think, to players in this. Now, this is costing about $1.7 million, but you can restock every single business in the game in here. And you could swap out your DJ. You could do a lot of stuff with like Bogher and your nightclub in here. It's a really good investment to make. Yes, and probably the best investment you can make in this game. Well, probably one of the best. Probably not the best. So that's probably why I think the arcade would be important, and I could understand that. But the second thing is the Diamond Casino heist. Let's talk a little bit about this. I'm going to make a heist video sometime soon and talk about why I think that heists in general kind of suck. Now, I'm not saying it pay out or just in difficulty. Now, some of those might factor in a little bit and wait until that video comes out, but I think in general sometimes heists suck. And Diamond Casino, I love doing this. Yes, I have fun doing them, but I don't like setting up for them. And the setup missions is probably why I have not touched this since, when was the last time that I did Diamond Casino by myself? Probably months ago. The other times I did Diamond Casino, I was helping out other people. Yes, I've done it about 4 or 5 other times since then, but I've helped out other people. I've only done it once myself because I just don't like doing these. And well, let's talk a little bit about the payout within this. It's fairly good, but it doesn't reach some of the levels within that because Cayo Perico is the GOAT of doing that. If you're helping out with the player, if you in general with just heist, if you don't take a higher cut, more than like about 20%, you're not going to get a lot of money out of this. And even as the player within this, so generally, let's say you walk away with about 2 mil in this as a player, unless you're doing like an 85-15 split within this. Even the player, like you as the host, is probably going to get maybe 1 mil 1 mil, maybe 1.3 mil out of that. Yeah. I'm saying unless you take like the 85% cut on that. And it might even be lower than that, depending on. The payout's alright, yes, but I just think for the time that it takes to do the Diamond Casino heist, to set it up and then go through it, this is one of the more tedious heists that you do have to try to do it correctly, otherwise you're just gonna lose like immediately. So I mean, it's a bit of a tedious heist and a lot of work just to make it as a good money making method. Yes, and that's what derives me away from it. Is just look at that board right there. Right, that board right in front of you is the prep board. Yes, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, at least 15 or so preps that I have to do, not including the scope out for the casino. Yes, just to do a heist that's probably going to pay me maybe $1 million at the luckiest, if you get somebody who just doesn't care about the cut, or you're probably going to get maybe about 700k, maybe at the most. It's generally what was the last time when I hosted it. I ended up I did like a 60-40 split, and I was lucky that I got like 600k. So within that, now again, that was like cash split, but I'll talk more about this in the video. But I don't think you should own the arcade just to do this heist, because just get it, because if you want to do a heist, really just to do the Kasaka, get Cayo Perico. Yes, just do that. So as far as improving the arcade on that, maybe just with as far as the diamond, and people are saying, why own an arcade to do a Diamond Casino heist? We should own a penthouse for that. Interesting argument for that. I'm not going to really get into that, but also just, I mean, this is more to make the Diamond Casino heist like better as far as that, but I don't think I should own it. I think I've stressed it a lot. This is the point that I still think I hold to, is I don't think I should buy a property just to do a heist, like an apartment, a high-end apartment. I usually get those for the car garages, honestly, not to do the heist. So that's one of the gripes I have about the arcade. But next thing is the safe in here. Yes, now I have every single slot filled in the arcade with all the arcade machines. Yes, and the safe produces $5,000 every 48 minutes. Yikes. Making that, I think, the worst safe in the game. Yeah. I'd say maybe, except for does the bike or like the clubhouse safe when you do the bar resupply? I know like within 3 hours you have to resupply that. Is that worse than the arcade? I don't know. But as you can see, this is from the safe only. This is how you make the money. $1,578,000. Even some of my MC businesses have made more than this arcade have. Yeah. Another gripe that I gotta make, look at how expensive these damn arcade machines are. Like, look at how expensive these are. Really, honestly, you only need to buy like one other arcade machine. Just make it the cheapest that you can do, and fill up your arcade slots with that one and the default arcade machine, and you'll earn the maximum amount of money. I actually watched a video on that. I'm like, oh, thank God I did that early. So on that, so there's really no reason at all, besides just if you're that into customization, to ever buy more arcade machines. And I think this is why the feature that just is like with the arcade is just like, why? Yes, I haven't ever like bought another one, so it's not like, oh, it's gonna hurt me a lot. But I do know that if I keep buying a lot of these, they just serve no other purpose besides customization, really. It's just like, why? Also, all these arcade machines making these that expensive, like, holy cow, for it not to have that much. Now, if different arcade machines gave the safe different amounts of money to make up to that $5,000, in this case $5,000 in the safe every 48 minutes. Okay, I can understand if that was a chain, but what, it doesn't matter which machine that you put in. What? Yeah, you see all this is making inside the arcade. I used to think arcade was good for that passive. It's not that great for passive income. Yes. For 48 minutes, the nightclub, if you want passive income, nightclub does better. Even the agency does better. Hell, you just complete about a lot of security contracts and you're getting a little bit of money. And even it, well, actually, it will put in, what is it? Is it $500 a day? Well, unless you've done a lot of security contract, I think sometimes the agency is a little bit. I'm not sure about that one. I'm sorry, guys, but still, I think arcade safe still, I think the worst safe in the game. But yeah, this is the reason why. Just look at this. It's ridiculous. Let me slide through this so that way I'm not ranting on this for a while. Also, I don't know what this drone station is for. If this is for a mission on this, but also $1.4 million. I'll have to look that up. This is the only upgrade that I really think that you should get. Plus that, the arcade cuts with another, I think it's a 10-car garage, which is pretty nice. I love properties having garages if you're into that. But really? But like, really though? So, I don't think, I think the arcade just needs a little bit of a rework. Like, oh, so sorry, getting back to what I was talking about with the safe is what I mainly did. Buff that up a little bit, yeah? That's $5,000 every 48 minutes is not that great at all. You do enough of the grind for the agency, you're getting $20,000 back. The nightclub now produces $50,000 each one. Then you have this damn safe that puts only $5,000 every 48 minutes. Is there a reason why you made it that, like, you can make, like, I know you have to grind for it, but like you made the agency now a little bit competitive, making it $20,000 every 48 minutes. The nightclub's still gonna be like the goat of that, but then the arcade, you're just gonna make us fill this up with default arcade machines that then only give us $5,000 passively for that. Come on, Rockstar. Like, just buff it up a bit. If I will even understand if it's only like $15,000. That can stack up a little bit, but $5,000, like, if it's not even in like double digit. What I mean by that, like $10,000 beyond, but it's not even in like double digit numbers. So I just think arcade has fallen as far as importance, in my opinion, except for Master Control Terminal. If you have all the businesses, that's going to be a great investment. As far as that, yikes. Arcade, fix the safe, maybe eliminate all these like arcade machines, and then I'm not going to touch much on the casino heist, but also heist property. So next business that we're going to talk about, let's talk about the bunker. Yes. This is also a business that I haven't run a lot in the last few weeks, but some of the double money events have actually been fairly good. Yeah, like the auto shot contract one, and this one, the security contracts one, I can earn money doing those faster than I could do the bunker. And I used to run the bunker a lot. I still think you should get a bunker, but right now, as far as this particular week, this week of, what is this? Oh shoot, I have to get lunch. Random comments. October 11th. That's a Tuesday. Double money week's gonna end in 2 days, and if it's not a good double money week, then I'll start running the bunker again. But aside from that, in the like last 2 weeks, I have only done research here in the bunker. Yes, I have not earned money like by creating stock here in the bunker in about 2+ weeks, and you're gonna see that's pretty true for a lot of the businesses. Yeah, that I've done. So let's talk about it a little bit. What do I think need to be improved on? I don't think the really the price or the payout really needs to be improved on that. I like that as much within that. So I think that it's fine for doing that. I think the research needs a little bit of work. Maybe a complete rework as far as this. So doing research takes a lot of freaking time. Yes. And I don't really do that much research unless I just don't want to make money from the bunker right now, or if it's like one of these double money weeks where the bunker's going to be a little bit useless to try to grind money from. At least the solo method that I do, which is to sell for $210,000 solo, doing that. But also research, just I think this fast track is a lot. That's a lot of money doing that. It takes time, and quite honestly, the only gripe that I really have about research, I can understand that we would have to pay for this and pay a lot of money to fast track, but I just think instead of making it random, I really, really believe that I think we should just honestly just pick and choose which research we done. I've done 12 out of 51 right now. And the research, if I view unlocks, every time that you do it, it's random. Yes, random one. You get either a livery, a vehicle weapon, or like a upgrade for like a Mark II weapon or something. Most of the time, if I could choose which ones I would do, I'm probably going to do some of these vehicle like weapons and all of that stuff first before I do anything. I don't really even care really that much about these liveries so much. Yes, and that seems to be one of the more common ones that I'm getting. But making it an absolute random chance. So I owned the Insurgent custom pickup for a little bit. Yeah, I had it sitting there in Pegasus. Once I found out to put it into my facility that I had to do the bunker research for the weaponize and then weaponize it in an MLC, I'm like, crap, because it's so random. It could take me a while before I get that one weapon for that one specific vehicle in order for me to actually weaponize that. And that's why I think you should pick and choose. Now, the counter argument to that is just don't get that vehicle until you unlock the weapon for it. Fair point. Yes, fair point if you argue that point. Fair point. But still, I just think the randomness of this is just yikes. Like, when am I going to get other vehicle weapons? Like, I've done 4 more projects before after I got Mobile Operations Center rear turrets. 4 of these are just stuff that I don't care about anymore after that. I got Weaponized Tampa, one of these. I think I got a livery on that. Then the Insurgent 50 cal thing. And then and then more liveries. Then a couple weapons. That's good. So all of that stuff. But like, look at all of these that still need to be unlocked. And this is all randomized. Like, I still think we should pick and choose. So that's going to be the main gripe that I have about the bunker. All of this other stuff I could probably care less about. Yeah. Let's talk the ammunition contract, or the excess goods mission, this little thing here. I think it's pretty good. I haven't also run this on double money weeks because some of the double money methods have just been better, that I don't even run this for the extra $50,000. So I haven't done one of these in a while. But when it's non-double money week, if it's just like an absolute trash week, it's still a good way to pick up a little bit of cash for doing that. So I don't think that really needs to be changed within that. I think it's nice that you can store the MLC in here. I think I'll just go ahead and touch on the MLC a little bit. It's not technically a business; it's technically a property, but a vehicle property. I think the MLC a little bit, as far as the customization, as far as that, like the interior, if you want to weaponize vehicles, you have to take up 2 of your slots as a weapon and vehicle workshop, and you can't put in like a personal vehicle slot in there anymore. and you also lose the ability for personal quarters, which spawning in your MLC, dude, that's a funny thing. So you'll just have the command center in there, but I think if it was just one bay that would have that. I'm not really griping on that too much. So I kind of take back what I said on that. The main problem I have with the MLC is just doing those MLC missions. One, I just think you should just do those solo. I think everything in this game should have potential to do solo. Yes, it's going to be more fun if you do it with friends, of course. But at least just have the option to do it solo for those solo players. I'm generally more of a solo player. But I still think that option should be there. So, I mean, that really, the MLC mission besides don't really pay out that well, but I mean, they're to unlock trade prices, but I mean, to also unlock trade prices, which are alright. They'll save you a few $1 million for doing that, and some of those MLC missions I've actually done a couple of them. They're actually pretty fun once you do it, but just the payout doesn't give me that incentive. I think they should pay out just a little bit more for me to incentivize trying to do them to unlock trade prices. Otherwise, it's just like, I mean, the fun makes up for that, but quite honestly, just within that, just with how low it's paying you, I don't think it should pay you at all. Quite honestly, in that case, either buff the payment to actually make it a reasonable payment method. Instead of like $10,000, make it like maybe $30,000-$40,000 to do these. Make it an actual legit money method, or don't do it at all. Either way, if you want us to unlock trade prices, those are the ways that you're going to do it. Because people are either going to use that for trade prices or going to try to use it as a money method. And if you amp it up, you might get some people who want to use it for both. Yes. So that's really the complaint I have about the MLC missions. Like, some of them are fun for doing, like the Ruiner 2001. I think the Oppressor Mark 1 is in there too. Those missions are actually pretty fun. I've run those with some people before when they were doing that. So Bunker really doesn't need that much change. Change the research a little bit, change the MLC a little bit. So Bunker really doesn't need that much touching. Alright, since it came up on my list, God, I have to gripe about this one. We're going to talk about the frickin' hangar. Yeah. Oh God, the hangar. So as far as, and I have to talk about this in a business perspective. Yes. Air freight cargo is garbage. I even tried it myself when it was the double money just to see how it is, and it really does suck as bad as I thought. I'm surprised I sourced as many crates as I actually did. And I think it also glitched when I did a sale mission, because I sold it for like $20,000, where I had to make 3 drops, and I made 1 drop and crashed the plane after that, and it gave me $19,500 for that. So if I can just throw the missions like that, as long as I make 1 delivery, maybe I will do some air freight cargo to do that. So I mean, the source missions suck. The sell missions suck a little less, but they also suck. The payout is trash too. So I just think I just don't know. Yeah, the setup mission also freaking sucked. I mean, it was a little bit easy, but I had to recruit somebody, and I did learn how to fly planes before I did that, but it just gave me a large freaking plane in the middle of a city, and I couldn't fly them that well. So that also sucked. So air freight cargo, definitely not worth doing unless, and you have to do like 20 to like 30 of those to unlock some trade prices. But I mean, if that's your cup of tea, if you like doing this, I'm not gonna harp on you for that. I might poke fun at you and be like, why are you doing this? But I mean, if that's what makes you have fun in GTA, alright, go ahead. Yes. But I really think, even on double money, they just suck as far as this. What do I think should be improved to the, and this is tying into the hangar itself, but also air freight cargo, because it's a business. It's just either remove this or just, this is gonna sound like a dumb statement that I can't really back up much, is just make it suck less. Yes. Now, one of the missions I was able to actually do with an oppressor, which made it much easier. One of the source missions, as far as that. So I didn't need to. I had to take the helicopter provided immediately, but I crashed that and be like, yo, can I just take my oppressor instead? And I was allowed to. So I'm able to do that. But it really does take as much time as it does, like 10 minutes to source one crate to do that, just to sell it for that. If you're going to actually incentivize us to do that, I almost think that this should always be on triple money. Yes, make it $30,000 per crate that you do. Yes, make it compete with CEO cargo. Make it freaking try to be goated. Yes, make us have to learn how to fly planes and helicopters and rank out that skill to really pay for this. Yes, even double money is not enough to incentivize me for this. Yes, or at least make the source missions easier. I could understand that the sell missions are harder. But, yeah, air freight cargo kind of trads. This is, I just think either this needs a rework or remove it altogether. This more than the arcade. If the arcade doesn't get to, I understand, but if air freight cargo is in like such a like GTA 6, all of this stuff, I'm definitely not playing that. Next, one of the things about the hangar, I mean, cool that it can store aircraft, all of that stuff. That's fine. Thing I'm gonna gripe on is on it, and I can kind of understand why, is that it's just so damn expensive. Yes, couple mil for what it is. Now I'm not harping so much on that. I can understand the price because you're storing millions of dollars of aircraft in here. The main gripe that I have is going to be the renovation. The living quarters wasn't too bad. The workshop though was freaking $1.2 million. I think I got that while it was on discount a few weeks ago, which it was still like, I think was it like $600,000 still just for the workshop. And normally, I think, is it normally 1.2 or was that with the discounted price? Whatever it is, that's an expensive thing for a damn workshop. Yes, 1.2 mil for doing that. If you did, I think the most expensive. What's the most expensive workshop besides the hangar? Is it like 700K? Yeah, so make it like 850, 900K. Make it maybe those amounts. But once you start touching in over $1 million just for this renovation, yeah. It's just mainly the thing that I'm griping at here is it's expensive for what little it does. I mean, you're gonna get this to store aircraft, but not to do air freight cargo. Yes, so yeah. So I just think air freight cargo itself needs a little bit of a rework. Yes. Let's go talk about the clubhouse. Yes. God, I swear if this is another hour-long video, that's gonna be myself. I'm aware of my lengths of videos, guys. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes they surprise me, but a lot of them have a lot of information. Yes. So. So the MC Clubhouse, it's actually pretty good nowadays in GTA Online, again without the last few weeks of the double money. So the main things, what am I going to gripe on? I'm going to start off with the MC contracts. I'm going to address, I don't know if it's a glitch or if it really is adding to the total and I just not noticing it. What I still don't think is, one, life and death bikes totals aren't adding to this, if you can see on this white sticky thing over here, to the clubhouse contract earning $631,000 for doing that off of 25 contracts. Some of those have been from actually a lot of them I've been doing for life and death bikes, but every time I do life and death bikes and then come back to the clubhouse after I get paid, and if after a little bit that total doesn't change for some reason. So I don't know if like some of the earlier ones actually added to that. I just think it's a little bit of a glitch that should have probably been fixed. I don't know how it earned that much just from doing that, because I know life and death bikes, by the way, so this is going to be the standard for this. That is a good contract, and if you do everything right, which I have a walkthrough on there, which I might redo because just the audio is a little bit bad, but it'll pay you say $5,000. If you choose not to bring back the death bike at the end of the contract, they'll pay you like $15,000. So always bring it back, and it's fairly easy. It's gonna be a little bit of a drive, so it's a little bit time consuming. Yeah, it's a little bit time consuming for what it is, but when there's like non-double money methods, this is pretty goated for what it is and for one of these contracts. Now let's talk about the rest of the contracts though. Like we have it here. So life and death bikes, really good payout. By the pound, 9/10 of the dollar. All these other ones will pay you about 20,000, maybe if you get lucky upwards to 40,000. Anywhere between like 15,000 to about $32,000 have been the average ones that I've done. And I just praise life and death bikes. Yes, I could see if Rockstar says, oh, it's balanced because technically it pays you $15,000 unless you catch that little thing where you bring the death bike back for $75,000. Then we'll just know that to always bring back the death bike. So it technically always pays $75,000, yeah. But all these other ones, this is what I think. Most of these contracts, they're actually very easy, and if you want a little bit quick money, they're one of the better method for doing that. They actually, some of them don't suck as bad as it is. Like Torched is easy, but it only pays like $20,000, but it's super easy. Even if you had to like go on an oppressor for 2 miles just to destroy those crates. I've had ones that were like 0.2 miles away from my clubhouse. Boom, easy $20,000, my dude. So, but still, those payouts, I think they should try to match upward to that life and death bike, $75,000. Yes, I'm gonna eliminate the $15,000 option from that because it's like the payphone hits. Yes, everybody say basically payphone hits generally pay you $85,000. Assuming that you do it correctly. You don't, and it's $15,000. But everybody's like, then you have to address it. Is it really a $15,000 payphone hit, or is it an $85,000 payphone hit? It's usually always $85,000 payphone hit unless you freaking screw up. Then it punishes you for this. Life and death bikes is just a simple, it's a choice whether or not. It's a say $5,000 contract, but if you choose not to do a simple drive at the end of it, like a 3-mile drive at the end of it, it's going to pay you $15,000. But all these other ones, for how easy they are, even if it's not as time consuming as life and death bikes, why is this life and death bike so goated and all these other ones are not? It's I think everything else should match. At least if you at least buff these to $50,000. I'm not saying they all need to be $75,000 like life and death bikes. If you want one contract that's better than the other, okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's actually a good play. But you can't make all the other ones suck just as compared to what this is. Yes. Because technically this is a $75,000 contract. Yes. So, and all of these other ones are like $20,000 to $30,000 contracts. Yeah. So nowhere, I would say nowhere on the level. $50,000 would make it competitive with life and death bikes. Yeah. And by the way, life and death bikes on double money paying $120,000, which is technically not the full double money amount, which I can see why they don't do these, is still goated for what it is. So my first complaint is on these contracts, there's going to be 2 complaints on the contract. My first one is buff these a little bit. Don't touch life and death bikes. I like how it is within that, but buff some of these other ones. The second gripe is like this one. You do not have enough members in your MC to start a contract. Why the fuck, excuse me, but why the fuck would I do one of these contracts with somebody else only paying $30,000? And some of these multiplayer ones are just, I mean, if you're doing stuff with multiple people, that's not a sale mission. You're probably not doing it to make money. Yeah. You're really not, unless if it's like an auto shop contract. But you're not really doing this for both players to earn $30,000. Why would you do that together? Again, this almost brings back to what was it? Was it the arcade option? No, it was the MLC mission. I think, again, this brings back almost just like the MLC missions. Just make it the option of having it solo, yes? And we could choose whether we want to do it with crew or not, yes? I mean, all these other ones technically you can do with the crew, but these you have to do with a crew. And I'm pretty sure these pay as equal. 9/10 of the law pays, I think, as equally as like by the pound. Like $20,000-$30,000. So why? And recently, because these are random every time, I've been getting a lot of these. There's like three or four contracts that require at least two people in your episode to do. So yikes. The only ones I recommend do life and death bikes by the pound occasionally. Gun running is fine. That's one's easy and torched. Right? And other ones just suck, like cracked, like the safe cracking one. You can do that solo, but I say you almost have to do that with multiple people. And I don't like the concept of that one because the safe's out in the open. So your other player, I'm assuming, has to defend you on that. If you do that solo, you're getting shot while that opens up the safe. Yes. And it's like guaranteed because I've killed the person everybody that was trying to shoot me while I was opening the safe, and then they respawn. Yeah. So MC contracts, fix these a little bit. Yep. Next thing that I could think of, I'm not really going to touch bar resupply. It's a nice addition. I am going to touch a little bit on, these. I need to go to my computer. Is a little bit of the MC businesses. Yes. I'm not going to like really touch these separately. I'll talk about them here. I have these out of modes. I've run the bunker more times than I've run these. Yes. MC businesses. Here's the thing. I've thinking, just do these solo and then they'll do these. I've started learning maybe just fill up all of these all the way and then just get multiple people to sell them. Yes. However, that still doesn't derive from the fact that MC businesses do suck. Yes. Even in their payouts within that. The Coke, these three are alright. These two, it's going to be my main gripe within that. And then we'll get back to my main point. Document Forgery Office and the Weed Farm, which I'm going to say them as they are now because I've seen other YouTubers do that, and I don't think YouTube cares about those anymore now. So, and I'm not currently being monetized, so I'll take the risk. So, Document Forgery is pretty trash. Yes. Now, I've heard on Expanded and Enhanced Edition, so on console, of that one, that Document Forgery boosts to, I think it's usually always double. So I've heard some people argue that it's actually worth selling in that case. But hang on, let me see what that was. Okay, that was just a race. If that was a multiplayer invite, but Document Forgery in general still just sucks within this. I've run 2 total sales, and also 50% sale rate. All of this stuff is just because I either A, got radio, or B, I swapped session because I wasn't wanting to do these a lot. Yes, just the payment out of this. What is the max on this? Maybe, what is it, like 167,000? Like maybe even 300,000? For the Document Forgery alone. These two businesses, the weed and the forgery, are not on the same level as even the cash factory. Both of them combined are not on the level as this. And this is where I think these need to be rebalanced. I think the forgery and the weed should be at least on the levels of some of these other ones, at least in competition. It's like Coke is good, the meth one is good, and the cash one is good. And then there's at least, as far as profit making per hour, the weed, I think it's like 40 or $50,000 drop from the max profit between both of those. And that's enough to make me not want to run these anymore. Now I'm probably going to run these enough just to show that, hey, I earned $1 million from each one of these just to flex. But yeah, I really don't. The only reason why I bought really these is for the nightclub. So, but here's the thing: if you want to keep us doing these, either buff the payouts on these two and make them on the same level, or bring these down. Now, if you bring down the coke, the meth, and the counterfeit cash, you're gonna have people playing these even less than what people do. Yeah, you're gonna. That's just gonna be the thing, because generally these businesses suck anyway. The sell vehicles also generally suck as well. There's some good ones. I might touch into that point here in a sec. But doing these three, I mean, if you lowered them to theirs, I might be able to understand that move to balance it. But I think these two should be brought up. Yes, there should not. There's a significant significant difference in payout between even the counterfeit cash factory and the weed farm, as far as even max profit. So that's what I think that they should do as far as doing this. Yeah. And maybe as far as solo on these, maybe another fix is just maybe make these double money, if not 1.5 times amount, just more incentive to buy these. Yes. So, yikes. Yeah. And I haven't run MC businesses in a while, and you saw I had some product in my meth lab. I've had that in there for about a week or two, and I'm also surprised I haven't gotten raided from that already. But again, also to make every business better, I am going to mention this right now. Just Rockstar, please eliminate raids altogether. There's no point in having them within that. So, yeah, just remove those, especially ones, at least if you're going to do it, just remove the ones for the nightclub in that case. But a little bit of things need to be fixed with the MC Clubhouse, yes, but still not a bad money-making method. We still have more to go through, guys. I'm trying to go through this as best as I can and as fast, but we have a lot to cover. Oh my god, it's already within that. Alright. Next thing we're going to go to is the CEO office. And this is the last ones that I'm touching. I said one of the last ones. Yes, CEO office has a lot of ways that you can make money, but it also has a few issues that I need to address. Yes. One, CEO office, to make every business better, and this one doesn't have to, this one isn't falling into the money-making category, but it is having to do with just having the business itself. And I'm not going to fully do it to show you, but I am going to show you, is whenever because you can purchase up to 3 garages for the CEO office, and they can hold 20 cars each, so you have basically a 60-car garage. But in order to do that, at least I noticed for PC, to even access that that renovation, unless I think you do get access to it when you first buy the office, and I'm not going to buy a new office just to do it. For right now, what you have to do is you have to swap out your personnel every single time you want to do that. And swapping out your personnel costs you $150,000. Yes, there is no reason that it should be that buying those type of renovations for the garages should be hidden behind that type of payroll. That's just ridiculous. Yes, and plus buying the car garages is hella expensive. It's like $800,000 for each one almost. That's probably an exaggeration, but I know purchasing at least two garages cost you about 1.2 mil, if not even more. And just getting a renovation. But now you have to top on that an extra $150,000, which some people are like, if you're rich, this doesn't matter. But it's still just freaking annoying, because what if I want the male or the female staff there all the time? This is not a sexist joke, by the way, yes. Everybody has just the preferences as far as this customization, yes. But I don't want to have to swap them out every freaking time that I want to customize my garage, yes. It's ridiculous. Like I went to buy the Vika workshop for the garages, which I forgot to do like a few days ago, which cost like $700,000 for this, and I forgot, oh yeah, I have to pay an extra $150,000 just for me to access that page. Why? Why is this a thing? Yes, and if you're saying, oh, just buy it outright when you buy the office. First off, if I'm buying a CEO office, I'm using it for the money-making methods, not the freaking garages at the first time. Yes, because this is one of the first few things beginners should buy. One of the first few things beginners should buy, and they should not be buying garages until a way late game. Yes. So, yikes. So that's one of the most annoying things about the CEO office. Why I don't like is just doing that. So I don't know why there's that reason. Next gripe on that is the safe, which is probably one of the worst purchases you can make. Is it $350,000 or is it like $500,000? I think it's $350,000 to do that. The safe doesn't do anything besides flex your money. Yeah, you can flex. It's not like it's a passive safe. And right now, okay, I could just use this as big flex, but still, why add that as a feature in the game? Yes, like why? I get people want things customized and want to show off within that, but if you're gonna do that, like why? Why make it such a useless feat? If you're gonna at least do that to at least flex, do make it a cheap price. Yes. Like I'm talking like even cheap price, like make the safe maybe like $10,000 even within that. Now I know you have to balance out the prices with like the CEO office in general, but still make it cheap. Yes, if people want to use it to flex as a feature, don't make it so expensive. Yes, because then you're wasting money on a useless feature. If you want to flex, make it cheap and let people flex. Yes, and then decide if they even want to do that. But it doesn't make sense that I have to spend a lot of money for a feature that I'm just gonna flex my money for. Yeah, gun locker. We're not really gonna touch on that. That's all right. Yes. Other thing you can do within this, I'm gonna touch on the accommodation, which I just got out of there real quick. Which, by the way, I don't know if you saw the little upper left hand corner. I can sing in the freaking shower and gain RP. That is one of the funniest features I've seen in GTA Online. Yeah. Dude, alright. But that's kind of funny. But also the accommodation, I think the CEO office accommodation is the most expensive in the entire game. Yes, it's $790,000. Was it 700,000 even or 790? I think it's 790. $790,000 just to spawn here. And I just bought it because I can. Sometimes it is useless or useful, but just buy something like Del Poro Heights. This is my high-end apartment here. Just buy this. And it's literally across the street. You just have to walk. And that Del Poro Heights, you buy that one, that's like what, $200,000, and you're not spending $700,000 just to spot here. Yeah. So I just think why make it like such an expensive. Yeah. So the next one's going to be one of the money-making aspects of this. Oh, shoot. I have to disband my MC for this. Yep. But now the excess or the mixed goods mission up there where you can get paid $50,000 if you talk to your assistant and do that mission. That's a good addition to that. I kind of like that. That's like the ammunition contract. Good quick money. No gripes about this. The gripes is going to come in here. Special cargo is very good. I'm still waiting for double money on some of these. I just sold these like about a week or two ago to empty them, and then I'm not going to restock them until like a double money event really comes out. And because raids are real, I'm just not going to fill them with product right now. But special cargo is good. Here's where we get into it. And this is where some people debate. Yes, vehicle cargo I think is actually not as great of a money-making method comparing to special cargo. Yes, the vehicle cargo where my gripes come into that. And yes, you get a product margin or a profit margin of $80,000 whenever you sell a high-end car. Yes. However, only selling high-end cars, you do have to collect, 10 or 20 mid-range and then standard range vehicles. Hold those in your warehouse and then sell only the top range, which that's just a lot just to do that, considering you're randomizing all of that to buy the warehouse. Within that, I don't think it's that great of that. Some of the missions are a little bit easier now that I have like a presser I can fly to it, but some of the missions do suck. The AI is annoying in these missions especially, and you have to pay repair costs in some of these, and sometimes if you get unlucky with some of the AI, you could pay upwards to $20,000 per vehicle to source them in there. And if it's not like the high-end top range vehicles, while yes you can make them up, it's still like $20,000. If you're only running this, let's just say that for example, you pay $20,000 in repair fees to bring it back to the warehouse. Then you go to immediately sell this. Let's say it's the top range car. You have to pay another $20,000 to add modifications on there, which are free for delivered to client. You select the showroom dealer, which is the highest for the $80,000, or in total really $100,000. You get the $20,000 back, and you make up $80,000, but you're technically still down. You only get $60,000, so you're still down that $20,000. Yes, and I think the repair costs on these really hurt it for me. And sometimes with some of the missions, I think these missions are better than some of the CEO crates missions. Some of those can really suck, but I just don't think, even for like the $80,000, just do a payphone hit, dude. You'll do it quicker in time within that, and you don't have to deal with all the BS for that. Plus the warehouses are just vehicle warehouses, they're just so expensive. Yeah, for a 40 that, and renovating warehouse, by the way, $200,000 for just to make it look nice. Yikes. Yes. Now sometimes you do have to, if you want to own some vehicles, like I think Phantom Wedge and all of that stuff, you do have to do these missions, like some of these missions, and own a vehicle warehouse, so they do have somewhat of a purpose. But as far as just making the plain money, I think it's overrated a little bit. Yes, I don't do this as much anymore. So now we'll talk about special vehicle work, and I'm gonna harp on it the same way that I did MLC missions. I think these should just pay out a bit more. Now they do pay, I think some of these pay a little bit better. Is it like 40,000, which is all right. And some of these are fun. Like I did the Boxfield one, that one's fun. The ramp buggy one was fun. I did that with somebody else. I'm pretty sure the Phantom Wedge one is gonna be fun. Oh wait, this is the Ruiner 2000 mission, not the one in the MOC. But if you like doing side these vehicles and want to unlock the trade prices for them, these can be worth doing. Yes. Um, I think I think I unlocked the ramp buggy uh trade price already, but yeah, dude, that was actually a fun mission within these. If you want fun, yeah, these can be, and these have to be done with 2 or more players. Yes, which again, I gotta say, with some of these I can understand because one person has to do one thing and then somebody has to drive the vehicle and doing that. I can understand that, but I still think just give us the option to do it solo. Yes. Um, but and just change up some of the missions. But these aren't the greatest as far as a money making method. You're gonna do these because either A, you're gonna enjoy doing that, which I'm not gonna complain about. That's not a reason why you should change it. But if you have fun doing these, it's cool. I mean, Ramp Buggy and Phantom Wedge, those are fun vehicles to drive around. So worth doing some of these, but also if you're gonna put a payment method on these, as far as doing some of these, I think they should be at least 45,000, 50,000, maybe. Make some of these missions, make them really worth doing. I mean, only a slight buff, Rockstar. It's all we really need to do if we really want to use these as a money making method, not really a trade price. You're really harping on doing some of this shit with where it's paying like trash just to unlock trade prices. Now, there's some people believe that it's to buy shark cards, which interesting marketing strategy on that. But as far as that, maybe change those around. And vehicle cargo, maybe change the concept of that a little bit. So that's really all I have to harp on for the CEO office. Some big harps, but can be. All right, we're getting into the final ones, guys. And I've also forgot. I think I am going to add some properties into this. Yes. Okay. This is one that I do have to bring out. This is more of a property, but it's a semi business, what I call it, because you technically can make money. And that's a casino penthouse. Yes. Most people say stay away from these. I actually see a little bit of advantage to it, but not too much. I definitely don't recommend buying this over anything. I would buy it over a hangar, of course. Casino penthouse. What's the main gripe on this? And I'd support this claim. It's expensive. Yes. Like the one that I have is cost me about $1.5 million, just bare bones. Yes. Then, if you want any of these features just to be cool, is all it does, really. $400,000. Media room, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, $1 million for a private dealer, $200,000. Accommodation plus another $200,000 just to have a spare bedroom so your friend could do. And then a 10-car garage for $900,000, people. That's actually, I think that's even more than the CEO office one. Yeah, to buy one of those. Yikes. Look at the price range of that if I buy all of that. So that's 1.5 mil, and you tack on another 1.5 to buy it outright. That's what is that? That's 6 mil. $6 million just to do that. Not to mention floor pattern, $215,000. Let's say you want the most expensive on that one. Most expensive paneling, $210,000. Total $5,033,500. Add on another 1.5 mil if you just want to get just the basic penthouse. 6.5 mil. Oof. Yes. Oof. And if we don't do some of the other penthouse, okay, I think I just choose some of those ones at the beginning. But other than that, like that's an expensive investment for it not really doing much. Yes, but it does offer some features. As far as renovations go, that is some of the most expensive stuff I've ever seen for GTA Online. And all those do, but is really just make it look cool. So those are some of the useless features that you can do. But if you're one of those that just likes to goof around in GTA Online, maybe it's for you. Yeah. But Casino Penthouse has some advantages here. Like if you call the phone on there, you can call room service. That's how you can get the level 1 security pass for the casino heist within this. One of the things you can do is you can exit directly to the casino from here, which is one of the advantages. You can do that, so that way you don't, if you're in a public lobby, you don't have to annoyingly come out to casino, because people like to camp out here. By the way, another highly griefed spot in GTA Online is the casino. As far as Casino Penthouse goes, there's two things you could do with it to technically earn money. Yes, one of them is to do these almost story mode like missions for Miss Baker, which is going to be one of the contacts you could do. And these require 2 or more players, which I think is big. You know how I think about these. And I forget their payout. It's still, again, pretty low for doing that. And I'm going to try doing one of these with a friend sometime, just to see how it is it necessary to require us to do it with 2 people at all. So again, I'm going to gripe about that. I think the payment's pretty low for doing those anyway, but I think do you get bonuses for doing those? So, but either way, still trying to do those for 2 players, not the greatest. But the next one is casino work. And doing casino work, I wish I had footage of this because it's pretty good. If you get a penthouse, you'll be able to do casino work. Yes, and when you contact Miss Baker, you'll be able to do a mission for that, which sometimes it could take a while, like 10-15 minutes to do some, or it can be fairly quickly, like you have to destroy some product and like fight some guys. It's almost like liquidize assets for the security contract, like one of those, which it takes a while. And the payout is between $6,000, and I've seen a little bit up to like $11,000, between $6,000 and $9,000 for doing that. And you get $5,000 in casino chips, which if you want to gamble those, that's probably a good way on that. I'd say don't underestimate the chips because those can stack. However, if you look at it at face value, it's not really great payment. So that's like $11,000 to about $14,000 if you're talking in total liquid, in ready cash. Yes, in liquid cash. Once you get that, that's technically anywhere between $11,000 and $14,000 that you're going to get. So that's including the chips. Yes. So not really great payouts, especially if you get one of those longer missions. But I do them when I'm bored because I think it's funny just stacking up on chips and then just cashing those in. Which I think is, you should underestimate those, especially getting those. If you're in a clutch and need quick money, even if it's like in my case $13,000, if I needed $13,000 right now, I can just go to the casino front desk and trade those in for $13,000 ready cash. Yeah, but mainly the timing is what I'm thinking for $9,000. Yes, I would rather do some of these jobs with support people than try to do casino work as an actual money method. I usually do them for the chips, which is funny, but as far as money making method, buff those up a little bit if you're gonna do that, yeah, or reduce some of the times. As far as that, so Casino Penthouse is just an expensive investment for not a lot of return at all. Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna touch on that. We're near the ends of some of these. I have decided I am going to add properties into this. So let's talk about the frickin' facility. Yes. Now I know this is, I don't count properties as businesses, and heist properties like apartments and facilities, those are not businesses. Those, I consider those properties because they only really allow you to start up a heist. A business to me is where you a true business where you get supplies and then you make product and then you sell that. Agency is a business within that. I almost put that in a semi-business mode. The guides about what to make the facility better. One, this thing is freaking huge for what it does. Now, yes, you store in vehicles. I get that part on here, but all of this space, right, all the way, the planning room is all the way over there. The accommodation is all the way over there. And to get to where you can store armored vehicles and the Avenger is all the way over here. This is a lot of dead space. A lot of dead space. And I think they could have just added more, even if it's more for, I get it for cosmetic and to like make it look nicer, but I think just could have done more with that space. This is really huge, by the way. But facility, you're only going to do this for two things, and I actually did it for one thing, is to store armed and armored vehicles in here, or to store the Avenger. Yes. Like I have the Kajali, I now have the Avenger, I have an Insurgent pickup, I have the Night Shark in there. It's a lot of work just doing that. Yes, let's go over the prices for the facility. Yep. Facility. Maze Bank foreclosures. Jesus, this video's gone on long. Facilities. Cost 2.9 mil. Mine cost like about 1.8. If you get, let's say you choose which one's a horrible one. Okay, 1.2. Okay, but like if you get a pretty good one, like this one for Land Act Reservoir Facility, $2.9 million. That's a lot of money for what it is. Yes. Now let's talk about the renovations. Orbital cannon. Everybody freaking hates this damn thing. Yes, and $900,000 to install that, dude. One, I have a thing against orbital cannon in that I haven't actually been orbital cannon. One, I stay away from public lobbies as much as I can anyway, unless if I'm just bored or something. Orbital cannon, what a waste of a feature in here. Rockstar, like, actually give us a reason why you put this in here. Like, I'm more curious as to anything why you put this in here. Also, $900,000 for almost $1 million is wasteful feature. Yes, security room to send out mercenaries. While it looks cool within that, $775,000. You could tell this is getting expensive. We've already bought the facility, and this is already costing us another 1.6 mil. Yes, the lounge, which again really doesn't do much except for cosmetic. Let's say you want privacy glass and that, $340,000. Sleeping quarters. Oh, I just did the utility. I'm dumb, guys. I didn't realize I could choose 3 different options. But if I wanted premier ones, another $290,000. Let's say if I wanted facility graphics, facility style, another 2.9 million on top of the 2.9 million to buy what I think is one of the best locations. That's what, $5.8 million to buy everything? Sheesh. Yes. And all of them, do none of the reservation except for spawning there with the sleeping quarters and stuff, which I can forgive that, is literally cosmetic things. Yes, not to mention to store these. If you want the Avenger, which, unless you just want to call it from Pegasus, I think you do. I think this is another one that you have to own this business to be able to get, is the Avenger, which is costing about, what is it, 2.3 mil? And to get vehicle, weapon, workshop, gun turret, it cost me a total of 4.6 mil. So if you're doing this to store the Avenger as well to get this, add another 4.6 million. Dude, this is an expensive investment. Is it worth it to store some of these vehicles? If you want these armed vehicles, which are going to cost you about at more than this facility is worth, yeah, to store it, I would think that's better than calling from Pegasus. But if you're still only doing that, you still have to look at this face value. I can understand why some of these are that, but the facility, what really irks me about that now, I can understand why the facility would be so expensive on that. What really irks me about that is just all the renovations are so damn expensive now too, and they do literally nothing, or if they do, it's a pretty trash feature. I mean, aside the mercenary that can be effective, orbital cannon, don't do that, otherwise you will not be liked by society for the rest of your life as far as gaming goes. Next, again, reiterated the gripes, look at the travel space. Next up is the Doomsday Heist. Again, I don't like buying properties just to buy heists, just to access heists. I think these should be incorporated with some businesses, or you should just be able to freely do this by going to a location or something. Doomsday Heist. I did some of these setups with somebody yesterday. Yes, and these cannot be done solo. This is probably one of the most difficult heists you could ever do. Yes, and I mean that. Yeah. More so than any of the apartment heists, more than the Diamond Casino heist. Because one of the setups, like the first ones, I only did this with 2 people. I recommend, so far from what I've experienced, doing only 2 setups with a friend, and it was their setups. I think it's best you run this with 4 people, and no less than 4 people, and ever. Yes, because 2 people. I mean, the first mission where we had to, for the Act 1 Doomsday setup, where we had to source in 4 Deluxos at all the cross side of the map. It wasn't too horrible, but I mean, if that repaint them and then deliver them to the facility. If you have 4 people, that takes 1 trip. If you have 2 people, that will take 2 trips. Yes, so what's gonna get these done faster? 4 people. Then we did the next setup within this one, the one with like team paramedic and then this other thing. That one, I have never seen much frustration. Both of us struggled, and we're not terrible at all players within this. And even I'm not sure exactly what he had to do, but he was struggling with his side of that. But at least my things, I had to fight some of these enemies to collect intel. I think this was the data breaches setup. I think was it data where I had to go to the site covered in AI to steal this intel. Yes, and these AI are powerful within that. Yes, and I kept my distance from these guys. Yes, and this is why I think in general AI need to be nerfed, but this is also ridiculous within that. My aim's not bad at all in this game as far as just aiming wise on this. On some players that might be a little bit of a story, but I was able to kill some of these guys, and they kept respawning in, which is part of the problem why it made a BS. We redid this mission so many times. I died probably no less than 12 times trying to do this. Yes, and he failed his thing about 3-4 times as well. Yeah. I almost say with that one, it's even gonna be hard. That one required probably 2 people each team. That's gonna require 4 people, I can guarantee. And even with 4 people, it's still gonna be difficult to do if you don't have communication. So Doomsday Heists in general, these can give you some good payout, but one, it takes a while on these, and these are some of the hardest missions that you'll do. And I experienced firsthand with only 2 people, which it gives you the option to why it's going to be so difficult and why you should probably get 4 people. Yes. So all of that time just to buy the facility. All right. Those are all my gripes about these. And also, again, that's going to factor into one of my points as why heists suck in general. But yeah. Facility, not that great of an investment at least early game. Yes. I I think we're almost done with all of these. I'm going to go to my Kasaka, which is going to be the last thing we're going to do. And on the way, while I do that, I'll briefly cover the Terabyte. I'll cover the I might cover Arena Workshop because it's technically it falls actually under the business. It's still another property. And I'll also cover the not the yacht. We're gonna excuse the yacht from this one. What else was I? And the high-end apartments. So let's start off with high-end apartments. Again, it's a heist property. And for some of those heists, unless you're doing a criminal mastermind challenge, not really that great to keep running those. So that's a big yikes on that one. Yes. So in buying those high-end apartments, some of them can be expensive, up to a few mil, but some of them are pretty cheap. The price isn't bad for it, but I buy them for 10-car garages. Yes, and you could buy, 5 or 7 of them for that, so you can have some extra collection to that. But as far as it benefiting you for just getting those just for the heist, unless you want to commit to the criminal mastermind challenge, which I could see why. You get, if you do everything right within that, you can get bonuses up to like about, I think even like 11 million for doing that. That's really, really good. Yep. But you have to commit to that. Yes, and there's certain things you have to do it right if you're going to do that. But again, unless you're going to do that, I suggest not getting it. The only other reason besides car garages that I would recommend you get that is location, because you could spawn there, or you can actually you can spawn there and then you could just like walk, like Del Poro Heights right next to Maze Bank West. Yes, that's a strategic location if you don't want to buy sorry, I'm losing my words. This is almost like a 2-hour video now, so I'm fumbling and I'm really tired. So unless you want to buy accommodations, that would be a good reason to go after. All right, Terabyte. I did a guide over this one. Terabyte, again, to improve that. Both sides the payouts for that. Diamond shopping is probably the easiest as to do that, but I don't recommend doing that in a grind. Just do Headhunter. Yes, you could do diamond shopping faster, but again, it'll only take you a few minutes more to do Headhunter, and you get paid about $12,000 more. So, and plus Terabyte is just a big ass investment anyway. So, because you have to buy the Terabyte, or you have to buy a nightclub, set that up, then buy a Terabyte, and then do whatever you need to. Then you have to buy an $815,000 drone station within that, and all the other client jobs in that take time. Yes, and some of them really suck. Some of them suck, but some of them are pretty easy, but they just take the time and not worth $30,000. Yeah. So don't really focus on that. Arena Workshop is just an expensive. Just get that for that. I'm not going to go over that. That's garbage. So, but I covered it. Yacht. Let's cover the yacht since I'm on this already. Yacht. Don't get unless you want to flex. You can make like single digit money from it, like $9,000 for some of those missions and doing all of that stuff. That's mainly a flex. Yes. But to improve that, as far as doing that, I have no idea where to even start. Maybe both sides of those payments as far as that. Also, just make it free to move the yacht, please. So, next is going to be the Kasaka. Important to buy within this expensive investment. Yes, this will cost you about $2.2 million. Yes. Let's even changing colors, all of that stuff. Let's just put these back on default. So $2.2 million. Why are you buying these in general? First off, to start off, Cayo Perico Heist, which is, I would say, the best money making method in the game as far as time and payout. time's a little bit of a factor, but as far as heists go, and you can do it solo, the only solo heist you can do. Really good, alright? Recommend doing Cayo Perico. Yes, Cayo Perico has its moments where it does suck in general too, so it heists in general still do suck, but it's not by any means difficult if you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing and you're a beginner, have someone help you show the ropes within that. Yes, because it's another one of those, just like the casino heist, that you're going to lose out on a lot of money if you don't know what you're doing. If you mess up once, you're kind of screwed. Yes. As far as the Kasaka itself is what I mainly need to talk about. Sonar station. What? $1.2 million to get this. I forget really what are these for. Oh, I think you're usually using this to find the buried treasure here in Los Santos in the ocean. I forget if they help you in Cayo Perico. I don't think so, but 1.2 million just for doing that. Guided missiles, if you want to have submarine battles, okay. 1.9 million. So you could tell this is an expensive investment already. Weapon workshop, 350,000. That's not bad if you want to have that, but you get one built in already with your nightclub and stuff. So other places you can get some. So not really worth having in your there. Moonpool vehicle Sparrow costs you $1.8 million. Definitely I would try to pick this up. But and it kind of does with the Kasaka itself, but I'm going to gripe on the Sparrow here a little bit. Please give this a little bit of armor. Yes, if you don't land this perfectly and you like chip something, it blows up. Yeah, like 0 armor on the Sparrow, but it's I think it's the fastest helicopter in the game, so alright, but still $1.8 million. The Kraken, it's just a submersible in a submarine, so a sub in a sub. 1.5 million. So look at this. Yes, if you're doing this for cosmetic only, yeah, 2.2 million on top of 4.9 million. That's about, what is that? That's like 7 million. My math is failing me right now. Yeah, $7 million to do that. That's an expensive investment. And even not doing this, if you took out all of these, so let's say 2.2 million, and you just bought the Sparrow only, so let's say 1.8 mil plus 2.8, $3 million to do that, to help you. It's an expensive investment, but I can understand why. I think Rockstar should probably lower some of these prices just a little bit, and not make them so more. Most of those prices to me, it's like, oh, it's over 1 million, but it feels so close to like $2 million that it's like, yeah. Cayo Perico heist on this really doesn't. It's worth getting for Cayo Perico because Cayo Perico can give you good in change. As far as the submarine itself, as far as this, there's a lot of floors to this. Another one, really dead space, but if you know how to navigate, it's pretty good. So mainly my only gripe with these is going to be the price, really, with the Kasaka. It's just damn expensive for what it is, but you're gonna get this for Cayo Perico, so you'll get your return back. Yes. Other thing that you can do this in is to store like a $3 million submersible vehicle in the Stromberg and that, and I think the Toreador can also be placed in here as well, so you could also have that in there. So expensive investment for even more expensive investments. Yeah, they'll go all the way back here. You see how much I had to navigate within that? I was just going randomly, but Stromberg and or Toreador, they'll be going in here. Yeah, some of those other things. So only thing that I had to grab about the Kasaka is maybe a little bit of the price, maybe lower them maybe by about 200k each. So that's everything. That's all that I can think of to improve every single property and business in GTA Online. Yes, some are good, some need a little bit tweaking, and some need a lot tweaking or a complete rework. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. My name is Hectic. See you guys in the next one.